Here's a look at your daily market report on this Monday, the 31st day of March. We'll start off a bit different this morning and talk about grains for a bit before we get into the cattle markets around the state. Of course, two of the biggest reports of the year for the grain markets published just about an hour ago as of the recording of this report. The first one being the Prospective Plantings Report, the first official estimates of what we can expect for the crop year. Corn plantings came in at 95.3 million acres. That was about 1 million acres above most of the average guesses for the pre-report estimates. That makes it up 5% from last year. Beans came in at 83.5 million acres. That was down 4% from a year ago, but just about in line with most of the pre-report estimates there. Corn stalks came in at 8.15 billion bushels in storage there. That's 2% lower than a year ago, and not too far off from pre-report estimates on the corn stalks. The beans came in at 1.9 billion bushels. That was up 4% from last year and up a bit from the pre-report average estimates. At least so far, an hour after the release of those reports, no major knee-jerk reactions appearing in the futures markets. We have seen a bit of movement, but it seems like at least currently probably most of the industry had those numbers figured in and no major huge surprises. There could be some movement on that corn as guys digest those numbers and get to dig in a little bit deeper. Turning our attention now back to the cattle markets around the state today at the auction barns. Callaway Livestock Center had 700 head on their early listing, so when all's said and done today, they'll probably end up with about 1,500 head. China Livestock Market, they're expecting about 1,300 head today. Joplin Regional Stockyards expecting about 10,000. One special note, Callaway Livestock Center will hold their monthly special cow sale this Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, I believe is the kickoff time for that. As we get along a bit more in the week, we'll talk about some of their early listings they're expecting on Thursday night. At Joplin this morning, with that big 10,000 head run they're expecting, they did get off to a pretty early start. The feeder steers and heifers there steady to $5 lower for the open. The steers, medium and large ones, 400 to 500 pounds, 410 to 460. 5 to 6 weights at $317 to $400. 6 to 7 weights at $309 to $343. 7 to 8 weight steers at $284 to $309.50. Some 8 to 9 weights at $275 to $285. 168 head of steers sold in one drop of the hammer. 913 pound average weight at $261.50. The feeder heifers, medium and large ones, 4 to 5 weights at $329 to $390. 5 to 6 weights at $305 to $340, 6 to 7 weights at $276 to $303, 7 to 8 weights at $259 to $271. Box beef cutout values this morning: choice at $333.83, up $1 and a penny. Select at $319.17, up 49 cents. Those values based on 53 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds, and the choice select spread setting at $14.66. Taking a look at the negotiated feedlot trade from last week, when all was said and done, 62,630 head of confirmed negotiated sales. Texas had 5,569 head, Kansas 7,655 head. Both of those regions called the live sales steady to $1 lower, 209 to 210 mostly. Iowa, they had 16,850 head reported. Nebraska, 22,717 head reported. Both of those northern regions called the live sales unevenly steady, mostly at 213. Dress sales steady to $10 higher at 335 to 345. For the week, when everything was calculated, the weighted average price on the live sales down 42 cents to $11.91. Dress sales was up $2 and a dime at 337.30. Taking a look at the futures markets this morning on the Mercantile Exchange, live cattle for April, 90 cents lower, 207.92. June down $1.37 at 203.47. August, 199.90, down $1 and a dime. Feeder cattle for April, 286.07, down 85. May, 284.70 or 283.75, another trade. That's down $1.42. August, 288.87, down 80. Lean hogs for April, 47 higher, 87.17. May, 88.52, up a nickel. June unchanged at 95.77. On the grain markets, May corn up 2 1/4, 455.5. July up 2 1/2, 462.5. The further out contracts fractionally to a penny lower. September down a half cent at 434 3/4. Soybeans are mostly 6 to 7 cents lower at midday. May at 10.16, July 10.30.5, August 10.28. Wheat contracts are anywhere from 4 to 7 higher at midday. May 535.5, July 549 3/4, September 564 3/4. Soybean meal for May 292.90 a ton, down 60 cents. Soybean oil for May 44.90 a hundredweight, down 26 cents. With the Missouri Department of Agriculture, that's your daily market report for Monday. This is Tony Hancock.